Greetings and welcome to Roman of the Empire. I'm your host, Roman. Today we're going to be talking about the movie The Wrath of Man, whom many of you probably haven't heard about because it came out, maybe saw a theater, and then went to rental. So the film Wrath of Man is directed by Guy Ritchie, who you know from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, which is one of my personal favorites of his, Rock and Roll It, which was pretty good, Sherlock Holmes and the other Sherlock Holmes, The Gentleman, and a whole slew of other films. It's based on the novel The Cash Truck, which I'm willing to bet most of you haven't heard. Um, Stars Jason Statham, who is pretty much Jason Statham in everything he's in. Scott Eastwood, who is the son of a great actor, Clint Eastwood, and looks more like Clint Eastwood in this film than he has in any of his other films. Josh Hartnett, who has a small but important role, and you've seen him in a million different things, of course. Holt uh, Kalani, McClany. That's a rough one. I'm not going to lie. It's not a good name. There are too many parts to it. But you know him from Mindhunter. He always plays kind of a big, tough dude, and he's very effective in this film. And there's just a whole slew of other people who are also very good in this movie. A lot of them, you have no idea who they are, though, so there's no point in naming them. So, to start, I really enjoyed this movie. It's a revenge film and it's a heist film. But Guy Ritchie does some really kind of clever, good directing and gives you an experience that you're not necessarily expecting as the viewer. So he gives you the scene, and then he builds on that scene and gives you different perspectives of it as the movie progresses. But it's not that you're getting the same scene kind of churned out again and again. As you're getting the more and building, you're seeing you go from this to this as far as what you understand about what's happening in the scene, and that changes your perspective as a viewer. You understand how what are the motivations, the actions of all the players who are involved, and it's actually a really good device. So I'm gonna have a drink of beer. Now, there might be some mild spoilers here, but I'm not going to mess up anything that's going to affect your viewing experience. Anything I'm going to say you've probably seen in the trailer, but I have to give you at least some kind of foundation so we can talk about the basic setup of the film itself. So, the movie starts with an armored car heist from the perspective, for the most part, of the armored car personnel. So the guys who are on board. Older guy and a younger guy. They get in, they load their stuff, they get ready to go. Then the door blows off, a flashbang's thrown in, and hilarity ensues. You see them get pulled out of the truck. You see the armored car personnel get gunned down. You also see a civilian get gunned down. That's your basic building blocks. So now you're flash forwarding a few months into the future. Patrick Hill, who is played by Jason Statham, starts working at this armored car company. He's befriended by Bullet, who's played by the Mindhunter guy, who has the unpronounceable name. He's like I said, he always plays kind of a tough guy who's an experienced dude in whatever field he's in. So Bullet has been in the armed car business for a minute. And he takes a liking to Patrick Hill, who is called H for the remainder of the film. Everybody gets a nickname. Bullet's name isn't Bullet; it's some other damn thing, but we don't really care about that. It's unimportant. It doesn't affect plot at all. And so Hill gets paired with Dave, who is the Josh Hartnett character, and pardon me, that's the beer. So Dave's kind of a loudmouth, not a bad dude, just kind of he's a loudmouth, pretend tough guy. He's never actually seen any action, but likes to pretend he has. So they're They're now a team. So on their first run, and this is the Hollywood part of it, of course, they get hit. And H now establishes himself as a no nonsense, effective gunslinger who does not stand idly while bad things happen. He doesn't let things that are under his cognizance um, fall beyond that. He takes care of business. He's not just like, oh, it's not my money. I don't care. Just let him have it. Now he's like, nah, boom, 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 you're dead. And it's a fun scene because Dave pretty much shits his pants. So now we're going to go to flashback, and this happens a bit in the film, and it's not confusing flash forward, flashback stuff. It actually makes sense in context, and this is where I'm talking about the scene building, where you see more of what happens before and after that armored car robbery. You see that the civilian who gets gunned down is actually H's son. So you get a few moments before what happens in the armored car robbery, and you understand now something that's motivating H. So what happens here? So now you're wondering, why is he working for the armored car company? Is he trying to make a heist of his own? What is he doing there? Who killed his son? Because that's actually something he's very interested in. And then the bigger thing is, what's the bigger picture? What's all the other stuff that's going on around that frame? So you have a few elements at work here as far as your major players go. You have the armored car company itself. You have gangsters. You have ex-special ops guys. And you have H. Almost nothing and no one in this thing is as they appear to be, kind of face level. The plot devices are used are super effective. And again, it changes your perspective while you're watching the movie, going like, oh, I get this now. And so it makes it more fun for you as the viewer, like I said, because you're not just getting the chicken and nuggets that you're expecting. You're getting, let's call it fried shrimp. We're not going to go too far with it. We're not going to say it's filet mignon, but it's still pretty good. So again, like I said, this movie didn't get a lot of theater time, if it got any theater time, because of the unknown secret virus, which screwed so many other things up. It's now on streaming services. I didn't really hear a lot of buzz about this movie, which is, well, it's on streaming services to rent. You have to rent the movie right now, but I recommend you rent it. It's not that much, and it's a good night. So yeah, like I said, I hadn't heard the buzz, which is too bad, because it is a really enjoyable film, unless you don't like revenge or heist movies, in which case you're going to hate this. It's not The Godfather. I need to make that statement, but it is a fun movie. It's entertaining, which is all I'm really looking for from a movie at this point. It's not political and it's not woke. It's just a movie that you can sit back in and just go, people are shooting each other and robbing shit. This is fun. And so it's a revenge movie. It's a heist movie. It's fantastic. I definitely recommend you spend a couple bucks, and it's only a couple bucks, and make the popcorn at the house, pop open a beer, and watch this movie. I am Roman of the Empire, signing off. Be kind.